We're Byron and Jill, two hands-on people with big dreams. In 2024, we jumped headfirst into our off-grid dream and purchased a 100-acre block at Mount Binga. After relocating here in 2025, our big goal right now is transforming this incredible century-old Ashgrovian Queenslander into our forever home. This isn't just a renovation, it's a complete transformation, a huge project demanding a lot of energy and time, and it's going to take everything we've got. And we'd love to have you along for the ride. Every challenge, every triumph, every step of the way.
Well, we've just tackled this big wall, which is actually the biggest wall in the house, all the way up to the very top here. On the last board, it's going to be a rip board. It's not quite tall enough up in there, so I've got to cut about 30mm off it all the way along. Then we've just got to finish off one more ceiling batten along here, so when we put our ply sheets on, we've got something to nail to up here. So we've got to rip the top board down to 90mm, which means we've got to waste 85. So instead of marking that out with my pencil, I'm going to set up a little stopper or a guide for the circ saw. And from the waste side, which is this left side, it's 85mm. So all I've got to do is measure from my guide stop to the edge of the blade, 85mm. Tighten her up. That way I can get a consistent rip. That cut is called a rip now. Changes. The depth only needs to be about yay deep because I don't need to cut through much material. That's it. Let's get ripping. Before we get carried away, we need 90mm. We've got 91. I can live with that. Let it rip. Done.
Yep.
Mill gap.
Yep.
$24.33. Look at this nifty new little tool we've got here. Marks 45 degrees. Transfers square marks around. What a beauty. 1740 tight. Let's start with 2 at that. Right there?
Yep.
Well, those of you with a keen eye would have noticed I haven't finished a few trims here. Around this doorway, this header, this side, this little panel here. A few more trims around this section here. Since we've built this out and insulated it all, it's just added an extra little element to the job where I've just got to extend these jambs out. So now our wall thickness is around 200 plus the cladding. So I'm just going to work on extending these jambs out further so our cladding has something to butt into. That way I can finish this panel off here. And to get to something where we're going to button this place up, I'm going to install these 2 French doors. So let's get into it. $21.05. $2098. 7mm difference. There's 7mm going on here. Uh, 110 plus 10. Let's make that 120. And we'll do the same here. Double check, 75. That'll be perfect. Let's get them done. It's important we get this nice and straight and flush. As this is where the door will swing off and also our cladding will butt into. Get the nail gun prepped up. We got some 50mm nails here. We want to get some good penetration into the stud timber work here. Now it's just a matter of starting at the top and working our way down. I like to roughly nail them off at 300mm. A little bit smaller in spacing's fine, but nothing bigger than 300mm. Kicked it a little bit down the bottom. Bring that in. Lovely. We want to check that for straight. And guess what? It's perfect. Plumb's good too. Straight's important for our cladding, and plumb is important for our door. So we're kicking 2 goals there. Okay. This side here is going to be a bit different. I'll show you. As you can see here, when we did this wall, I wasn't quite sure on what I'd be doing here.
So I just left this cladding a little bit long, but now I've figured out what we're going to do. I need to get a straight line here, and I plan on using a piece of jam as a straight edge and running my circ saw straight up the wall. Let's see how that goes. This might be a bit hard to explain, but I'll have a go. So I need to allow 20mm for our jam. So I need to cut this wall up in one straight line, which I'm going to use this piece of timber as a guide. I'm going to set my saw up so I can run it vertical up the wall, but the saw has to be set back far enough that I can use the edge of my saw guide and cut to where I need to. So I've gone 20mm plus 31mm, which is 51mm from my finished cut edge, and we'll put this guide on. We'll get into it. Now, this block of timber I'm using for the guide is only temporary, so we'll be pulling it off. That's why I've got minimal nails in it. Now, the max depth we need to cut is going to be 32mm, so I'll set my saw up at 35mm. Let's get it done. So, this is what we've got. Alright, let's work our way up here and finish off this little section while we're here, and we'll check back in and we'll head back that way. Punch a few nails on the way down. Good practice. Yeah, we don't have to do it later while we're prepping for paint. It's all done. Well, you always miss a few, but we'll get the ones we can while we're here. Alright, progression here is going well. We're about to start coming up this wall. You've seen it all before, so let's speed this one up. Alright, so now we've got this wall buttoned up. all trims and door jambs done, ready for the doors. The day, the hour, the time has come to fit these French doors, everybody calls them. Maybe they came from France, I don't know, maybe someone can tell me. But anyway, here they are, 2x French doors. We got these ones on Facebook Marketplace, and you wouldn't believe it, they were local, not far away from us at all, probably a 35-minute drive. We got 2 sets of 2, so I'll fit 2 here and 2 in the front bedroom. The only problem is we have a height issue. These doors are too high for the opening, so what I'm going to do is cut a bit off the bottom and cut a bit off the top. Now with this style of French door, there is always a bigger chunk between the feature and the bottom, the bigger chunks there, than there is at the top. This is 100mm at the top, and at the bottom we have 150mm. So I need to cut about 80mm off the top of this door or the bottom of this door. It doesn't matter. Or does it matter? Well, yes it does. So instead of me cutting 80mm off the bottom of this door, my bottom panel here that we were just talking about will be too small and it'll look odd. So what I'm going to do is cut 40mm off the bottom and then measure out my new height and cut the remainder off the top. That way we still have the bigger chunk on the bottom, and to the untrained eye nobody will notice. So it's easy to set these doors out with the clearance down the middle. What I've done here is clamped a level onto the door. This will guide my saw perfectly straight. Once we cut the bottom, we'll double check our measurement and we'll do the same at the top, cut the top. We're going to replace these hinges. They're a bit old and crummy, so I'm going to put new hinges on it. It's going to be like a brand new set of doors. Well, second hand brand new. Maybe brand new after we get them painted. Let's do some cutting. There we have it. Our first cut of the bottom door done. This might freak a few people out and they wonder, oh no, if I stuff these up, there's probably $1,000 here. But as long as your measurements are right and you've double checked everything, you've got to have confidence just to cut away. Everything I've done here just now has been double checked, maybe even triple checked. And at the end of the day, if you cut them short, that's life, isn't it? Anyway, let's measure it out. We'll get to the top and we'll trim the top off. We're just double checking it. Back at the doorway we have 2077 minus 3mm at the top, minus 3mm at the bottom, 2071. I think we're happy. Just like that, we've got our door cut to size. That'll get the edges nice and smooth. Let's take these hinges off. Well, it's a bit easy to get carried away there. They definitely don't need to sand them that much just yet. We'll still get them hung and swung, then we'll take them back off and do a full undercoat prep with paint. We want to make sure that we can get the top sealed up and the bottom sealed up. 2 coats on the bottom, 2 coats on the top. That way there'll be no moisture getting up to the bottom of this door or even to the top of the door and swelling these up. So let's work on getting a few hinges put on. So the easiest way for me to put hinges on is lay the door out in the opening the way it's going to go. These are going to open outwards. So I've got it ready to go in the right position. I've got my measurement from the top down. This can be whatever you want it to be. We normally stick to around 200, but I do have an existing screw hole and a few other holes here from the existing hinge, so I'm just going with 180mm down from the top, and I'll do the same at the bottom. I've got a nice little butt hinge, and I know it needs to go on like so. Make sure our hinge is sitting nice and parallel with the side of the door. We want to get the screw right in the middle of the hole, just like that. So while I'm here, I'll check I've got exactly 180. Now for me to hang it while I'm up here, I want to measure down from the top, 183, which will give me 3mm clearance on the top of my door. This is just getting it ready. The door itself wants to sit at 47mm on the face edge of the jamb. 47mm there, front of the door. And my hinge setback from the front of the door is going to be 17mm. So I can go 47 plus 17 is 64. And that right there is where the hinge will go. Now, is this going to work the first time? Don't know. Probably only done 1,000 doors before in my life, but you just never know with second-hand doors, new openings, different hinges to what I'm used to, different screws, different heights, but we just rely on the maths once again to work. So I'll get this guy up here, up on that sill. It's going to go up there. Got to push him up from height. That there is very close. This bit is quite awkward on your own, but you can manage. Let me just get that right there. I'm going to tap that door down a little bit. Okay. $62 from the front. 63 mil. Well, there she is. You wouldn't believe it. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Check the height at the bottom. It's absolutely beautiful. Height at the top. Couldn't get it better. Well, there she is. Clearance on the top, down the side, along the bottom. Let's get the other door on. Same as before, 180, we're going to go 183. Well, this is the big part of it. This is where you tell what needs adjusting, what's got a plumb, what's got to go up, what's got to go down. Let's have a look. This here door closes first. Clearance looks good. This here door closes second. Now, we are too tight. Now that's to be expected, and that's okay. Clearance at the top does need adjusting a little bit. That's okay also. Let me take one side off. The easiest side to take off is going to be this side. Well, we'll get the planer out and we'll take 3 mil off one side, put the hinges back on, and we'll go again. Now I'm just going to sand off a bit of paint drag before I run the planer over it, just so I've got a nice consistent edge. There's our 3 mil. take that sharp edge away. Here I am getting carried away again. Let's get back to getting this door on. Okay, let's swing it. Tell me what you think. So what I can see here is my middle clearance is absolutely perfect. I've got a little adjustment to do with getting the doors straight. I'm going to bring the bottom in on this side, see how that goes, and then I might have to bring the top in on this side. The bottom on the over there needs to come in about 4 mils. So let's do that first. Let's have a look. Well, I'm happy with the bottom down here. Let's adjust this top up. We want to come in a little bit as well. And just like that, we've got some of these French doors fitted. Absolutely beautiful, second hand. As I said, we got them from a person in town nearby. We're stoked. I can't wait to show Jilly. She's not here today, so I might wait and surprise her, see what she thinks. She's been waiting for these to go on for a long time now. Well, a couple of weeks anyway. I've just got to do a few little trims around here with some stops. Then I'm going to pull these off, prep them up for paint, and also put some primer on the top like I talked about, some primer on the bottom, just to stop that moisture getting into that end grain. Otherwise, I might finish this episode off here. This is part of the button up or the batten down. Hope you've enjoyed this one. If you like these doors, let us know. If you don't like them, let us know. Keen to hear your feedback. See you in the next episode.